and community leaders who have already implemented on a voluntary basis a diversity plan and to work and promote with others throughout the community to create an environment to prohibit any form of discrimination. I thank my colleagues for support of that resolution. Today, we have before us an ordinance which creates a protected class of citizens for sexual orientation and gender identity. This proposed ordinance now contains an exception that excludes churches and religious organizations. This exception is not extended to individuals or businesses that may also have moral objections to the ordinance. There is no doubt that the religious community in Omaha is divided over this issue. A number of churches and religious organizations support the law, while a great number, including the Archdiocese of Omaha, called for the exclusion exemption from enforcement due to moral objections and concerns. The business community is likewise divided on the subject. The Greater Omaha Chamber, while stating that business leaders should vigorously oppose discrimination of any kind, was unable to take a formal position on the proposed ordinance. Some chamber members, as well as myself, expressed concern that the proposed ordinance presents ambiguous language, especially with regard to gender identity, and rules that could, if enacted, place an undue hardship on business, particularly small business. So, while passage of this legislation addresses a social injustice for many, it also creates a moral challenge for others. Those whose religious beliefs view homosexuality as morally objectionable and fall outside the realm of religious organizations and are not provided an exemption. As I stated in 2010, if legislation of this nature is deemed necessary and appropriate for our community, I feel it should be legislated and implemented uniformly as federal law from the Congress of the United States. And finally, I want to acknowledge my colleague, Mr. Gray. Although we may not always agree, I appreciate Ben's candor and his professionalism. I know that he, as I, as well as the rest of my colleagues, have the best interest of the city of Omaha at heart. Mr. Clerk, we have a motion and a second on the ordinance as amended. Roll call.
Thompson? Because I can't get past the word perceive, that's hanging me up, I'd have to say no.
Festerson?
Yes.
Gurnett?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Jerem? Stoddard? Mr. President?
No.
It's passed on a 4-3 vote. Agenda item number 6.
I don't like that agenda item number 6. Those three people come up with some weird things. I had a difficulty even though
Thank you.
hold on, buddy.
Were you expecting that?
That was
How are you?
Got a minute for me? Sure.
Yeah, you're good. Excellent work. Very good.
I looked to see what she said now.
What's up?
Finally.
Sweet. I'm recording it. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Huh?
Is there anything you'd like to say?
Finally.
You don't know?